Today, oh my God, we're going to talk about Reddit threads, wackadoo comments, and what divine divas do. This is something that every high level woman in business will eventually face. And we are going to talk about what happens when you expand your level of success. We're talking about pressure, we're talking about judgment, we're talking about the discomfort, we're talking about all those things. And it's going to be juicy, juicy, goody, goody. All right, so let's dive right into this. Um, Let me ask you something. What did you used to judge before you started to get your success and all those things? What did you used to judge? Like, have you ever hated on like that coach or mentor who has like the pictures of her YSL bag or her Louboutins in her in her Instagram post? I had a client who judged this person as like unspiritual and not someone who should be leading a spiritual space, or why does she need to do that? What's going on? But here's the truth. Anytime you sit in judgment, you separate yourself from the very thing that you want. And so maybe you once thought, oh, why is she showing off her luxurious stuff? Like deep down, you really wanted that same level of freedom and the same level of abundance, and it could look a different way for you. Maybe your luxury looks different than hers. Maybe what you desire to do with your abundance looks different than hers, but it's still abundance, and it's still, if you judge her and how she's expressing it, is you separating yourself from it. And so now you look at yourself. You're the one out there celebrating your six-figure launches, your seven-figure years, right? You're like, you're so successful. You're like, oh my God, I just had my biggest month ever. Even if that biggest month could be $20,000 month, a $10,000 month, a five, it doesn't matter. But you're so successful and you're so excited and you're celebrating it like off the rooftops, right? And so you're posting about your success, your growth, and your expansion. And guess what happens? The bots come, the comments come, and the Reddit threads. If you're still making that money, why do you live in that house? Don't you make enough money to have a better car? Why do you have all those miles on your car? If you had so much money, you would buy a new one. This is all the bot comments, the Reddit threads, the people, right? And it's as if everyone is meant to do things the way they say, right? And then there's the critical thread, right? The thread on Reddit that criticizes your program that you worked so hard on. As if they understand the energy and the time and the soul that you put in it, but they're criticizing it. It's blah, blah, blah. She only does audios. I don't understand. She needs to do a video, blah, blah, blah. It's the moment where you start to see, oh shit, the things that I used to judge people for is coming back on me. And this is where I tell you that's good. I'm glad that you have that awareness. My process of Aligned Soul Alchemy would be perfect for you because the 5 steps, it gets you from awareness to alignment. And you now are aware that, oh, wow, all of the stuff that's coming to me, it's all stuff that I probably have said or thought about someone else with their own success. And now it's coming at me. Oh, crap. Don't get afraid. It's just about now recognizing I almost separated myself from success this way too. And then what you get to do when you're doing the Aligned Soul Alchemy, you get to remind yourself, wow, what was I feeling in that moment when I was talking about negatively or judging or doing whatever to someone else? Or when I was kind of side eyeing somebody's success, being like, oh, you only got that because you look this way, or you only did that because you did that way. What was I feeling? I was feeling like I can't do this because I don't look your way, or I can't do this because I would do that, or how dare you don't spend the money the way I would spend the money. I don't have it, but I would spend it that way. It's all like you'll see that it's all coming back to them, to you, right? If you are talking negatively about someone, or if you have somebody talking negatively about you, which is what's happening now, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. You are being a light that's showing them where they're triggered or where they're upset about something, and it's like, oh, this is something I get to expand. So actually you are their expansion portal, because they can choose to expand now. They can choose to heal this trigger. They can choose to look at it and clear those shadows, and they can expand beyond belief. So you being your fullest self is actually their expansion portal. That woman who you thought, the coach with the YSL bags, who's talking about her $1,000,000 days and hours and all the things, she's your expansion portal. And she's the reason why you're here where you are, because you finally allowed yourself to know what you wanted and to not separate yourself from it. So here's the thing. You get to remember, when people come at you, you got the Reddit threads of people that you thought were going to be clients for life, and then now they're complaining about you. Or you've got the bot comments that you can't tell they're bot comments because they're really advanced bot forms, and they're just being negative about whatever your ad or something, and you're like, what's going on? All of those happen. What you get to first do is come back to the reminding, the memory of that you are the divine diva. You are divinity in a body. And when you connect back to your God frequency, the only identity you need, when you anchor into this God frequency, your decisions become crystal clear, and you remember that you no longer need to second guess yourself or react to comments or Reddit threads, because you move with certainty. When you embody your God frequency, you transform from the mentor everyone wants to lean on to the leader whose presence alone becomes the transformation. The transformation. You don't need to explain yourself. Your energy speaks for you. And yes, you're still a safe space. You're still the person that people want to work with and for, but you no longer allow external things, the wackadoo comments and all of that, to shift who you be. When you fully reclaim your God frequency, you can lead your empire effortlessly with certainty. You don't pay attention to the noise or the distractions. You just continue with your alignment and your expansion. And guess what happens? The person that was in the Reddit thread goes back and deletes her comments, because she realizes that, oh, I was like saying that because she was my inspiration. I was saying that because she was calling me forward to be more than I was being. And it felt uncomfortable, and now I get it. Let me tell you what divine divas do not do, and they actually do. Divine divas do not make business decisions because they are pressured to. They don't react to Reddit threads or wackadoo comments and cry and curl up and feel like, oh my God. If that crying and the fear and all of that comes up, yes, you have tools. If you're a part of Divinity House, you can use the Align Soul Alchemy and move through that. Yes, because we don't want you to bury your head in the sand, but we also don't want you to react to those comments. We want you to respond in a way that you get to say, this isn't about me, this is about them. Could some of the Reddit threads and the things that are criticizing you, you could look at that, and you can look at it from a neutral standpoint and be like, are there any pieces in here that'll help me to expand my program? I had a mentor, she had a whole Reddit thread issue, and people were just attacking her in so many ways, but she went through in a powerful way to recognize the places that, oh my God, this is actually a true criticism or feedback. This is really good feedback about things that I can expand, and I'm going to make my space the best space ever, not from pressure to change and other people's opinions, but from, oh my goodness, I'm coming from a neutral standpoint, and that's an actual great idea. That's something that's going to improve this space. Thank you so much. Because when you are a divine diva, you don't allow the high school mean girls that sometimes this industry can be, and sometimes women can be, when they see success and it makes them feel uncomfortable because they don't feel like they can have it. You don't let them determine where you're going. You don't let people who don't have what you have bring you down, right? You don't do that. But you can have constructive feedback. You can be like, oh my goodness, these are great ideas, and where can I take some of this and expand my business and make it even better than ever? And so that's some of what divine divas actually do, right? They do not make business decisions from pressure. They do not react to Reddit threads and wackadoo comments and like fall apart. And they do not let other opinions dictate their next move, especially opinions from somebody who doesn't have what they are looking forward to create. But what they do is make decisions based on alignment. They do look at feedback and say, oh, which ways can I expand my business? How can I make these things better? They do trust themselves over anyone else, even their mentors, even financial advisors. And they do receive advice, but don't run it through. They do receive advice, but they will run it through their own divine channel because they know that they're divinity. You are a divine diva. You can 100% trust yourself. You're not here to explain yourself, justify your success. You're here to lead. And let me make this clear. You don't make decisions based on what someone else thinks, believes, or says. Not your audience, not your family, not your mentor, because you are God frequency and you have an intuition that is your greatest guide. You can, of course, ask for advice. You can, of course, take in people's opinions, and then you need to run it through your own channel. So when we think about other people and we think about like when you have, people coming to for you that are belittling, oh, if you make so much money, why do you live in that car and live in that space? And they're trying to spend your money for you. I want you to remember that that comes with success. A lot of people become envious and they're like, well, if I had that, I would buy a big house. That's what I really want. If I had that, I would be in a better car. If I had that, I would live somewhere else. And I want you to see it from a space of compassion to say, oh, wow, they feel that they can't receive this or they can't create this for themselves. So they're just spinning it vicariously through me. And they're mad because I'm not doing what they would want. And so they can't see themselves and their own things in what I'm doing with it. But I've got to remember how I want to do things and how I want to lead myself. You are a divine diva. You do not perform for others. You don't need to buy a bigger home or a new flashy car just to prove something. You get to do it if you want to, if that's your desire, yes. You don't move because of pressure. You move in alignment. And if there's a Reddit thread that's popping up that's criticizing your work, or if you see one of your clients like talking negatively about something that you've done and they've actually talked about it and you can tell that they're talking about you, then you just need to allow them to do what they need to do. It is what it is now. What? It is what it is now. What? This is why I created Divinity House, which is a space that holds all of you. It isn't about just strategy anymore. It's not another mastermind program that's about just shouting your monetary wins. It's about really owning your God frequency and being in that one identity, that God frequency identity, the divinity in the body, the divine diva, where wealth, spirituality, luxury, leadership, bigness is celebrated, not questioned, where you get to be all of you and you get to, really focus on the frequency piece, the piece that is so important, the energetic piece. That's the most important piece. Because I want you to remember that you get to be surrounded by women who are rising just like you so that you can see that, oh, I'm not alone in this. And that next Instagram strategy or the new thing that you can do in like ManyChat has nothing to do with what I'm feeling right now. And my frequency is what pays the bills here. So let me tell you this. Here's what you get to remember. The bots are going to comment. The Reddit threads will circulate. People are going to have opinions just like they have assholes. But none of that can touch you when you're anchored in your God frequency. When you're in your God frequency, your decisions become clear, your business flows with ease, You go from mentor to leader. Your energy alone transforms a room. And then you lead with effortless certainty and watch your vision just unfold and unfold. And it's perpetual up levels because you're in the one single identity that you ever need. And so I know you're ready to rise and become that divine diva that you've always been. I know you're ready for God frequency to be the frequency that you step into. I know you're ready for that. So step into my DMs and apply for Divinity House. Hugs, kisses, and all of the feels. Stay bougie, be healed, and keep it divine.